Welcome to the last week of the Old Country Soul mini-series. I hope you've been enjoying the new single and the mini-series as well. I know I've certainly had a lot of fun being able to catch up with some very good mates of mine along the way. So tonight, as we kick off the final week, I thought we'd reminisce about one of the very first tours I did in country music, and it's still one of my favourite tours to date, the Girls of Country. So my next guest is a lot of fun, and she's one of the hardest working people I know. And whatever the cause, she's always one of the first ones to put up her hand. She's a multiple golden guitar winner, and I'm of course talking about my good friend, Amber Lawrence. Hey Amber, thanks for joining me.
So good to see you. I haven't seen you all year.
I know, I saw you in Tamworth briefly for a second at the Kicks radio station with Ike, and that was my goal for Tamworth, was to meet Ike finally. And
Yeah.
my mum's still very jealous that she hasn't met Ike yet.
He hasn't. He's nearly two,
I
actually.
know, and it's not happened, and COVID's not helped the situation.
Oh, it's been unbelievable. I mean, the fact that all our last gigs were now 6 months ago, the last time we all performed pretty much,
Yeah,
and saw each other and hung out, and all the festivals that we were going to play that were cancelled. I mean, everyone's in the same boat, but it sure is hard.
yeah, exactly. That's the only reassurance we can have, is that it's
Yeah.
affected everybody. But today I'm going to talk about music and talk about life and the new single Old Country Soul. And I wanted to ask some of my favourite people, what does the words Old Country Soul mean to you?
Oh, well, firstly, I love that song, by the way.
Oh,
I
thank you.
Really nice. But I guess in my mind, when I think old country soul, I see that kind of dirt road, weekend away, porch sitting
Mhm.
kind of vibe. Again, that's not something I've done this year. So, and the country roads, the last country road I travelled on was in the last weekend of Feb, and we had a really big trip actually. We went to a place called Sandigo, which is in between Wagga and Narandra, and then
Okay.
we drove to a place called Coolah. So I guess what happened on that trip actually was our hire car had a flat battery, which kept going flat every
Yep.
time we stopped. And a really great example of old country soul was how many good country folk helped us get
Yeah,
to our gigs.
exactly.
Like I think I live in the city, as we all know. I'm a city girl, and city people are great, but we often don't have jumper leads or know how to change a tyre. But out in the country, we were 4 hours from our gig and we were stranded at a McDonald's car park. And
Gotta
and
get
we
that
thought,
cafe top up.
oh, well, like, at least we're going to get sustenance. But we thought we might not make it to the gig. And then, we lifted our bonnet. And of course, just by lifting the bonnet, people come over and ask if you're okay. And, so that was probably the last example I've had this year of old country soul, because I've been stuck in my little apartment here for 6 months.
Yeah, and I think Old Country Soul is kind of about those values that make us up as people. And I was wondering, if is there a moment that you could share with us, maybe from your childhood or teenage years, or something that's affected your soul and the person that you are today?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my soul is defined by my parents and the upbringing we had, which was, I guess, shaped by the fact that when I was 8 years old, my dad had a stroke and he was 40. And so I was only eight, my
Oh,
brother was five, my sister was nine, and he was left paralysed, couldn't really talk properly for the rest of his life. So, we still had some kind of normal, whatever that is, childhood. But I think we gained an understanding for the fact that a lot of people have hard lives, and that my dad was an example of that. And it just showed us that, I mean, to the average person, if they didn't want to take the time to listen to him and try to understand what he was trying to say,
yeah,
because his speech had been stolen by the stroke, they could just laugh at him or pass him off as, a drunk or an idiot. So we learned really young to look beyond that kind of first disability and
mhm,
judging people and really being empathetic So that's something that's definitely shaped my life, I think. And, I think people who know me and know my music will know that that's something you can hear
Yeah,
in my music and my shows, etc.
definitely. And I'm sure quite a few people know that you used to work for Qantas before you became a country singer. So what was that spark moment that made you want to be a country singer and everything that a country singer stands for?
Well, I guess firstly, I didn't even know about being, a singer because I wasn't I think you were, a childhood kind of prodigy. I wasn't.
Thanks.
I was working in a job as an accountant, and then I just started doing karaoke for fun, and then people kind of said, "Well, oh wow, you can sing." I'm like, "Oh, well, maybe I can sing," and then I got some singing lessons, and then at the age of about 22, 23, I got a guitar for Christmas,
Okay.
and at the same time, my singing teacher said, "Go and listen to some music you've never heard before," and I went and listened to country music. Can you believe that was what I chose? That was music I'd never heard before. And it was a Leanne Rimes album, followed by Melinda Schneider, followed by Becky Cole, the Dixie Chicks. That turned me into a country music lover. And then here I am with my guitar, learning how to play guitar, starting to write songs, and they were then influenced by those early songs I'd heard, and that was it. I was hooked, and it was a long process of accounting by day, songwriting by night, and the first thing I ever wanted to do was just record, one original song. And I did that, and it was called The Lonely Road. And actually, the late Glenn Hanna was the producer of that song. And then people really liked that song, and radio started getting on board. And I thought, oh, wow, okay, well, what's the next step? And then the next step was release an EP. And then, one thing just kept leading to the other. What's the next step? Go to the Gympie Muster. And Star Maker, that talent quest. So, I didn't have this grand vision when I started out of, I'm going to be a country singer, country star. Mine was just, oh, wow, I've written a song that I really like, and let's see where this goes. But, of course, as each step goes forward and each dream comes along, then your dreams get bigger. And I have been trying to remind myself of those early dreams because it's easy to forget how far you've come.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned quite a few artists already, but were they artists that influenced you sonically, or was it something that about those artists that spoke to your soul as well?
Oh, really? Yes. It's more the fact that in those early songs you could hear the words and the lyrics. And, I loved Becky Cole's first album. I can't remember what it's called. A little bit battered and a little bit bruised.
Oh, yeah.
Wild at Heart. That's it. She had some songs on there that I can still remember the lyrics today because they were just so truthful to her life. So I don't think sonically I've ever really copied anyone, but I think taking cues from how you can be honest in your songwriting and tell your own truth and put your own self into a song.
Yeah.
Which then makes it hard when you just want to write a song that means nothing to you because people expect it's about your life.
Yeah, it's funny how people can read into songs, but I mean, right now we're trying to still kind of release music, and I feel like we're very lucky to be in this country where we've got pretty low numbers considering the rest of the world right now.
Yes.
Is there a way that you think that as artists we can still reach out and share our country soul and kindness to those who need it most?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we've got the luxury of having that automatic network, our social network through Facebook and Instagram. So, at times, especially early on, I was checking in on my fans because I guess I felt as bad as they did, about and just I think this has been the great leveler for everyone this year because it doesn't matter who you are this year, like the world's biggest stars, they're still locked down. They're not allowed to do what they want. Their life's been impacted. So I think we're all literally in the same boat now, and we all are suffering. And so I think for me, just being honest about that and making sure my fans know that it's tough on all of us, and I feel their pain just as much as they probably feel my pain because I know that a lot of fans are empathising and really reaching out to musicians as well because our jobs have been just taken for how long? Nobody knows. So, it's definitely a two-way street now. It's not you know, as artists, we've been lucky to have some really great experiences in life. I know I've had some amazing times, but right now those times they're all gone. And when will they come back? Who knows? So it's been nice to have that two-way street actually of me reaching out to fans, but them also reaching out to me too.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, especially with the news, it's easy to pick up the doom and gloom stories, and there's a lot of negative things. So I'm trying to look for those positives at the moment. And I wondered if you had a story, whether it's when we could tour, a place you've been on tour, or a town, or if there's been a group of people that's really impacted and touched your soul that you can still remember, and give us a bit of a spirit lift about humanity.
Yeah, well, look, only just this week, one of my fans, and a lot of my fans and your fans, they become friends, delivered to my house Wiggles DVDs for Ike, Daryl Lee chocolate for me, and some masks. So I think, you know, she kind of understood that despite the brave face that artists are always putting on, that everything's fine, maybe everything's not fine at the moment, and maybe I might need to just curl up on the couch with some chocolate and let Ike watch the Wiggles for a while. So I've just had lots of I'm blown away actually. And also when I've just done a few concerts where I've said, you know, if you want to buy a ticket on PayPal, you can, you know, no pressure. This show is free online, but if you want to donate, when I finished the show and saw what people paid for tickets, I actually like cried, because I thought people really care that much. Wow. So yeah, it's been extremely heartwarming this year.
Oh, that's beautiful. And so during this isolation, has there been any new hobbies you picked up, or is there any new music or something on the horizon for Amber Lawrence you want to share with us?
Look, there's lots of new music coming. As for hobbies, look, I went for a run last week, and there's a scar, there's a scar, there's a scar. I can't bend down because my knees are swollen. I had a massive fall. I tripped over a tree root. So I haven't really, that was an attempt at a hobby. And,
that one's off the list.
Oh my goodness, I'm not running for a while. You know how you kind of went, oh my goodness, I've got all this spare time now. I'm going to clean the cupboards. I'm going to do this. I've done none of that. No, nothing. But I do have a collaboration has just come out with the American band, the Davison Brothers, which I'm so excited about. And we wrote that song together, and I just can't believe that an international release has happened with the song I wrote. So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But I've got a live DVD coming out, and then a new album at the end of this year, but it might not be a grown-up album. It could be a different kind of album.
Little subtle hint there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks for joining us. I mean, we normally hang out in hotel rooms or in a car on a trip, or, you know, at a festival with some wine, and hopefully those days aren't too far away. But thanks for joining me anyway tonight.
There's wine in here, Christie. There's wine in here. Don't you worry. Thanks, and good luck with everything you've got happening too. And I'm so sorry that your wedding had to be postponed too. That must have been so hard.
Yeah, it's been a tough year, and we kind of thought 2020 would be a new year and a new decade and exciting adventures with weddings and moving to a house, which we did that.
Yeah,
just
nice.
Now. And no Nashville trips or honeymoons or any of that fun stuff. So
I know.
Hopefully 2021, and I just miss my family. I mean, for me, I wanted family at the wedding, so hopefully it can go ahead next year.
It's just, I got married last year, as you know, so I feel so lucky, and we had our honeymoon, and if it was a year later, it would have been going through the same as you guys. It's tough because you have these dreams. So anyway, I'm sure it will happen, but I was definitely thinking of you on that day.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Take care, and give my love to Ike and Marty and your mum, of course.
And to Jonathan and your mum.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that's all we've got time for tonight. It's the final week, so we're going to mix things up a little bit. And on Wednesday at 7 p.m, I have one last special lady joining me, and she is making a huge name for herself in the Australian country music scene. So lock in Wednesday, 7 p.m. I can't wait. I'll see you then.
'Cause I know I got that old